I'm spending 30 days running a bookshop in Bookshop Simulator. We'll have cats, chaos, employees who very clearly don't know what they're doing. Let's see how it goes. Day 1. It's our very first day running our bookshop. Nestled in a quaint little alleyway, surrounded by cobblestone streets and brick walls, it is simply adorable. It's like something straight out of a cozy novel. There's just one tiny issue. The shop is emptier than my fridge at 3 a.m. So first order of business, furniture. I proudly place my very first bookcase in the store, followed by the cash register. Slowly things are starting to come together, but there's still one crucial ingredient missing from this recipe. Books. I decide my first book will be AFK Girl, a mysterious mystery novel. I also grab a book on French cooking, Bonjour Soufflé, and a breezy little number called Away with the Breeze. Soon they're perched proudly on my brand new bookcase, and I feel a tiny spark of accomplishment. I can definitely make this place work. It's time to open, and almost immediately a customer walks in, clearly desperate for something to read that isn't a cereal box. She buys 2 books, and before I can even breathe, another customer is already browsing the shelves. I am going to make a fortune, or at least enough to buy more shelves, which is basically the same thing. I rename my store to Whiskers Bookshop just to make it feel more like my own, also because everything is better with whiskers. That's just science. Business is booming, so I buy a second bookcase and unlock a few more book licenses. Things are going so well that I'm almost out of stock. Today has been madness. I scramble to order more boxes and get to restocking. As a little treat to myself, I buy a personal shelf to store my knickknacks, lunch, and probably handbag. It sits next to my counter like a tiny VIP lounge just for me. Also, fun fact, you can decorate and recolor the bookshelves. I go for a crisp white to bring in some fresh modern vibes. I restock again. Honestly, I must be the most popular bookshop in town, and take a second to admire the scenery. I barely have time between customers. This place is pumping. I splurge on a new book called The Fellowship of the Bling. 10 out of 10, already judging it by the title. And before I know it, it's closing time, 8 p.m. It's been an incredible first day. I haven't made any profit yet, but considering how many things I've been wildly purchasing, I'm calling it a win. The shop is taking shape and my little bookish empire has officially begun. Day 2. The next day arrives quickly, and I notice some packages outside my door. I didn't order these, unless future me was stress shopping at midnight again. It's a fancy pedestal for displaying special books that apparently boost certain abilities. I also unbox a dusty crate of used books and, plot twist, there's a special book inside. My very first one. And boy, is it fancy. I place it on my personal shelf like it's the crown jewels and beam at it every few seconds like a proud parent. With that done, it's time to put my used books up for sale too. I'm so into the whole process by now that I can practically smell the pages. Either that or I forgot to dust again. I decide the shop could use a splash of personality, so I pick some bright yellow paint. It's very bright. Like staring directly into the sun bright. But hey, at least no one will forget where my shop is. Instant landmark status. Eventually, I actually pay attention to my next mission, which tells me to buy a used book bookshelf. Oh, so that's what I do with my used books. Makes sense. I also realize I need to put my special book on the pedestal to actually activate it. Fine, it's only my second day running this place. Surely I'm allowed a few rookie moments. I get busy restocking, trying not to get too possessive about my special book. The customers are just admiring it. Nothing to fear, right? Nope. I immediately drag the entire pedestal behind my counter like a protective dragon hoarding treasure. Take that, sticky fingers. Sadly, this does create a new problem. Customers are now wandering behind the counter to ogle it, and that is absolutely my personal space. Not okay. I give in and move the pedestal back where it was, so at least I can watch it from a safe distance while pretending to be very chill. After that emotional roller coaster, I finally finish my task of serving 20 customers, and I'm rewarded with a far less glamorous job: paying bills. Ugh. Usually I let bills in games pile up like laundry. I swear I'm responsible in real life, but in games, total chaos gremlin. But no more. I am a responsible shop owner now, and I will pay my bills on time. As a reward, I decide it's time to expand the store. I'm rolling in cash. Well, gently tumbling in it. And we need more room. A lick of paint and new flooring later, and I can already picture a cozy little reading nook for my customers. While poking around my shop tablet, I notice the employee hiring function is now unlocked. Yes! Not even 2 days into managing the cash register and I can take no more. I immediately hire someone who doesn't seem too terrible and say hello to Marius. I set him to work at 7 p.m. serving customers. Finally, I can have a break. Or more accurately, just watch Marius shuffle awkwardly behind the counter until 8 p.m. hits and I close the shop. He's a bit slow, bless him, but at least it's not me doing it. Day 3. Restocking is the first order of business today. Marius is already behind the counter, standing there like a slightly nervous mannequin, so I flip the sign and we're open for business. With my trusty employee on duty, I'm feeling confident this day will be so much easier. I spend the morning restocking and I find a rare book hidden among the used ones. I'm so confident this is just the start of my rare book empire that I immediately buy a huge bookshelf just to show them off. Before I can even double check the price tag, an eager customer swoops in and snatches it up. Honestly, I might have just discovered my ticket to fortune. To celebrate my possible newfound riches, I buy a few shiny new books to sell. The Return of the Bling King is my pick of the day. Pure literary gold. While I'm unboxing yet another crate of used books, I notice something new has appeared on the shop tablet. Pet adoption. Pet adoption. Water bowl, food bowl, cat bed, litter tray. Okay, slightly less glamorous, but still, my heart does a little backflip. I quickly place down my new rare book find, knowing I'll need to sell at least a dozen of them if my shop is about to be overrun by tiny, adorable kittens. I also spot some new furniture perfect for my little reading nook. A rug, a chair, and a lamp later, and the corner looks so cozy that I want to curl up and read there myself. And now, the moment I've been waiting for, I can finally adopt a kitty. I open up Blepmart. Yes, that's actually its name, and there are so many cats to choose from. It's impossible. I want them all. But after much deliberation, I settle on Whiskers. It fits the theme, and honestly, the shop name is practically embroidered on his future little collar already. Welcome to your new home, Whiskers. He immediately struts around like he owns the place, and just like that, my little shop feels so complete. I set up his litter tray right next to the comfy reading chair because nothing says curl up with a good book quite like the faint aroma of cat litter. Day 4. I am so confident in myself and Marius that I opened the store right away without a second thought, and immediately abandoned all responsibility to check on Whiskers. This is now my number one priority, caring for the cat. Customers? Never heard of him. I stock the shelves, idly wondering when I can hire someone to do this part for me, while watching Marius slowly, painfully slowly, serve customers. I'm then thrilled to see someone actually using the reading nook, with Whiskers looking on like a tiny furry librarian. My heart could burst. Things are going so well that I order another bookshelf and a bunch more new books. I am clearly destined for this role, born to be a book baron. As soon as one person leaves the reading nook, another swoops in. I might need to buy an extra chair at this rate, maybe even start a waiting list. Books are flying off the shelves faster than I can restock them, and while unboxing some used books, I find one that gives a 30% boost to worker speed. Let's be honest, Marius needs all the help he can get, so I slap that thing on the special pedestal like it's a performance review in book form. Another used book box later, I level up, which unlocks the ability to hire another worker. There's a guy named Jacob who's the highest level available. His hiring fee is a bit steep, but I know it'll be worth it. Welcome to the team, Jacob. A bit of staff reshuffling later, and Jacob is now on customer service duty while slow and steady Marius handles restocking. I buy yet another store expansion so I can finally start stockpiling boxes of books, and Whiskers celebrates this milestone by using the litter tray for the first time, which happens to be right next to the comfy chair. Very on brand. As closing time approaches, I can't help but feel proud. We've got a new employee, more space, shelves stuffed with books. Honestly, I feel on top of the world. I treat Marius to a huge order of books, as a little sorry for demoting you gesture, and call it a night. It's day 5 and Jacob and Marius arrive on time, keen as mustard. I'm ready to get into serious bookseller mode. The shelves are bare, but I open the store anyway because I like to live dangerously. Nothing says responsible business owner like risking public disappointment before breakfast. Before long, the shop is absolutely flooded with customers, and I decide it's time for an upgrade. Starting with Whiskers, naturally. I splurge on a shiny new food and water bowl set and a towering cat condo, fit for feline royalty. Hopefully the new layout makes him feel more at home, and less like he's stuck running a literary empire. The rest of the day is fairly uneventful. Just me doing my usual Olympic level restocking routine, but as I flip the sign to closed, I can't help wonder what tomorrow will bring. Day 6. I don't think Whiskers actually likes his new layout. He's been staring at the cat tower like it's a complicated puzzle. Maybe he's part of the One Brain Cell Club. And honestly, I'd be honoured to be a member alongside him. I rearrange the storage section in a desperate attempt to create some sort of system. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but at least I tried. Feeling suddenly optimistic, I treat myself to a brand new bookshelf and go on a redecorating spree. A splash of colour here, a little furniture shuffle there. Even Whiskers approves. I take a sneaky peek at the other shops available to buy. They're all way out of my price range, but hey, a girl can dream. I pay my bills like the responsible, tax-fearing citizen I am and call it a night. Day 7. Just a totally normal day. Spending almost my entire life savings on book stock until I'm down to a grand total of $21. No big deal. I give Whiskers some love and accidentally discover that I can rearrange the shelves. Well, now I have to redecorate the entire shop. I spend the rest of my day gleefully moving everything around like I'm on an episode of Extreme Makeover, Bookshop Edition. Somehow, despite the chaos, I actually make a profit today. We are thriving. Day 8. This place is endlessly busy. I cannot fathom how it's so popular. Customers pour in constantly, some buying a small mountain of books. I'm seriously tempted to open a bookshop in my front yard at this rate. As soon as I hit $3,000 in the bank, boom, store expansion time. I dive into painting, flooring, and rearranging like an unhinged interior designer. I move the reading nook into a quiet corner, customer experience obviously, and position the litter tray as close to the chair as possible. I even grab Whiskers a little scratching post. The whole place looks lovely, airy and open now. Of course, I immediately plunge us back into the red, but worth it. Day 9. After watching Jacob slowly ring up customer after customer, I decide something must be done. I splash out on a second checkout counter, convinced this will turbocharge the checkout process. It's definitely going to speed things up, as goodness knows Jacob needs all the help he can get. Day 10. After mere moments of manning the second checkout counter, I bin it off. I decide I simply don't care that Jacob is slow. There is no way I'm wanting to stand there and do that job. I spend my morning restocking instead. Well, buying the books for Marius to restock. And I spruce the place up with a plant and a rug. Nice. Eventually, I do have to help with restocking as my customers are simply vultures. And I notice something new is available. We can sell bookmarks. I buy a little table for them and some cute pattern bookmarks, and I love this edition. Another new item unlocked are board games. I buy all of them and decide to leave them for tomorrow. Exciting. Day 11. Time to finally get our shiny new board games on display. I buy another bookshelf because obviously you can never have enough of those, and get them all lined up like proud little soldiers. Bookmarks, games, books. What more could a person possibly want? A nap? Same. I wrap up my day by encouraging my customers to buy something, anything, and then ever so politely to please leave. It's been a long day and I need to go stare at a wall for a bit. Day 12. I spend a good while watching Jacob work in a very not creepy way. The shop is eerily quiet today, for the first time ever. Then it hits me. I forgot to open. The moment I flip the sign, a customer practically kicks the door off its hinges to get in. Ah, that's more like it. The comforting chaos of capitalism. I decide to swap out the special book on display. Jacob isn't getting any faster, and it turns out magical books can't fix slow reflexes. I need cash, so I replace it with the book that boosts sales. Priorities. I gently, not so gently, shove Jacob aside and take over. For a while, I'm riding the high of ringing up sales until around 3 p.m. when I remember I have the attention span of a squirrel and get bored. And boredom, for me, is expensive. So naturally, big purchase time. I'm buying a new store. Off we go to Japan, and oh my goodness, it is stunning. All rolling green hills, leafy trees, an air that doesn't smell faintly of old paperbacks. I wander along the train tracks, marvel at the scenery, and promptly fall through the earth. A flawless first day, if you ask me. I crawl back to Paris, decide to hire a manager so I can make money while I'm gone, and call it a night. Day 13. Meet Odette, my brand new manager. She looks like she means business. She sits down behind the desk and immediately does nothing? Classic. No matter, she can manage while I head back to Japan. I spend some time sorting out the new shop and decide I don't just want to sell the same old books here. My grand plan? This place will eventually be a manga and comic book paradise. Unfortunately, those aren't unlocked yet, so board games it is. The shock of going from a bustling shop with employees to suddenly doing everything myself is jarring. I do not, under any circumstances, want to do this all myself full time. I barely get a moment to breathe, so I check the hiring tab out of desperation. I am so close to affording someone. And then, success! A few customers later and I can finally hire. Enter Yumi, with fabulous hair that could win awards. I'm honestly tempted to hire her based on that alone. But her stats are terrible, and she's more expensive than Carl, who is clearly the better option. Sorry, Yumi, maybe next time. Carl starts immediately, and suddenly I can restock in blissful peace. Before the night ends, I pop back to my main store in France, and I'm shocked to see that nothing has sold. Maybe it only makes money while I'm away, but doesn't lose stock? Magic store logic. I'm not going to question it. Day 14, and I decide it's time to fully embrace my new life in Japan and see if I can make money without having to dash back to my French store every 5 minutes. First order of business, of course, decor. I buy the cutest little bonsai tree and a rug, and instantly the store feels more charming. Then I remember pedestals exist. You know, the magical kind that gives you boosts. I plonk one down like a true visionary and crack open some boxes of used books, hoping for treasure. Nothing. Just the smell of disappointment and mildew. I spend the rest of the day restocking, and to my surprise, when I finally close up, I see the passive income rolling in from France. It's actually good? I don't think I've seen this much money before. Things are actually looking up. Day 15. I take a moment to watch as a tidal wave of customers flood my tiny Japanese shop. It's small, but I can already tell this is going to be my crown jewel. I decide it's time to hire another staff member, and honestly, I've been looking for an excuse. I gleefully pick Yumi because her hair is fabulous, and I'm shallow like that. I practically skip down the path to greet her, give her an uncomfortably thorough inspection, and put her straight to work. Yumi and I work side by side in perfect harmony. I even splash out on a rare bookcase, still desperately hunting for a special ability book like it's the Holy Grail. As soon as I place those rare books on the shelf, they vanish into the hands of eager customers. Still, I'm determined not to let this place become just another bookshop. I have plans. Things are going so well that I impulsively buy a store expansion. I spend the rest of my day decorating, helping Carl at the cash register, and end my day staring at my bank account in shock. My store in France is making so much money while I'm not there, I'm starting to wonder if maybe I was the problem. Day 16. Fantastic news. I've hit level 8 and can finally stock manga. This is a huge step towards my master plan. I start with Assault of Colossus because it sounds like a video game, and I'm easily swayed by dramatic titles. I buy a sleek new bookcase and go on a redecorating spree like my life depends on it. Everything must be black, elegant, rich, mysterious, like a cat who owns a yacht. Then I decide I hate it, panic, and change the flooring back to brown. Classic me. I open about 5 boxes of used books in search of a special book and finally find one. Except it's utterly useless. Still, I display it proudly like it's a priceless artifact. Before I can even finish admiring it, I level up again and unlock a new manga, Life Note. The money's pouring in, the shelves are looking fabulous, and I am absolutely thriving. Bring on the next day. I am unstoppable. Day 17. I finally cave and buy a used book bookshelf because, let's face it, I cannot stop opening used book boxes in search of special treasures. Of course, I treat myself to a new bookshelf too. Black, naturally. Elegance is non-negotiable. While admiring my handiwork, I suddenly remember I can get another cat. I rush to Blepmart and decide Peanut is the one. Things get a little chaotic when I can't figure out how to put his carrier down again. There's a lot of panicked fumbling, but soon Peanut is out and about exploring like a tiny furry CEO. My store feels complete now, and I end the day rolling in cash with a satisfied grin. Day 18. I start the morning with a brisk walk outside. It's breathtaking here, and it reminds me that I should occasionally leave my shop before it eats me alive. Back to business. I tackle the storage shelf. These things never go smoothly for me because I'm perpetually one step behind on stock, but today I persevere. Soon my shelf is full and miraculously organized. Feeling flush, I decide a little store expansion is in order. It comes with a sliding door that doesn't really work either inside or outside. But hey, aesthetics over functionality, right? This little corner now doubles perfectly as a storage area. I take care of the grown-up stuff too, paying bills, ringing up customers, and restocking. My bank account may be slightly lighter, but my heart is full. Day 19. I hire a manager today so I can finally sneak back to my French store. Sana, my new hire, blows my mind by actually figuring out how to open the door and immediately gets to work. Absolute legend. I restock and then head back to France. Things are exactly as I left them, but that doesn't last long. I begin rearranging everything because clearly perfection cannot wait. My new goal here is to unlock every single book license. It's ambitious for such a tiny store, but hey, I like a challenge. I buy more bookshelves and nudge Jacob's counter over ever so slightly and get ready for new stock. Except disaster strikes. The customers are confused. Something about the slightly nudged counter has thrown them into turmoil. I take over checkout duty briefly, blaming it on Jacob, but no luck. I move the counter again and things get worse. Clearly, it's definitely Jacob's fault. I move it again and it finally seems to work, but I am not pleased. This store is going to need a full overhaul, and yes, it's personal now. Day 20. I dive headfirst into rearranging the store, armed with grand plans and a suspiciously overconfident attitude. It's coming together nicely and feels so much more open. I move the manager's desk to the corner and place the litter tray right beside it. Multitasking meet design aesthetic. Whiskers is fast asleep on his bed, which is adorable but inconvenient because I need to move that too. I finally flip the sign to open and stand back, basking in the satisfaction of my genius layout. It is perfect. Surely nothing can go wrong now. After splurging on a massive stock order, I hire a new stockist. Meet Lottie. Our little French store is becoming the coziest, liveliest spot imaginable. I can't help but smile. I give Jacob a promotion, hoping for a magical productivity boost. Spoiler? No, he's still slow. Still, I end the day content, watching my little empire flourish. Day 21. All my workers turn up on time. Even the manager, who seems to have an ongoing personal feud with her own desk, so I decide it's time to head back to Japan. France is running smoothly and I'm confident it'll survive my absence. Everything in Japan is just as I left it. I enclose the manager's desk because I just don't like them. I hire another staff member after much deliberation. Everyone looked promising, but I settle on Kihiro. I put him to work before he's even entered the store. Strict rules, people. No slacking. While unboxing a load of used books, I discover a rare gem, simply titled Used. Market price $5.50. I decide to test the limits of my customer's generosity and price it at the highest possible amount. By 2:30 p.m. reality strikes and I lower it slightly to $7.99. Consider it a compromise, mostly for their sanity. Day 22. I love these moments when the store is fully stocked and I can just sit back and watch the tiny world I built. Relaxing, fulfilling, and occasionally filled with mild panic. I add a new product to the Japan store, starry bookmarks. Even if I don't really sell a lot of books, I'm all about variety. By mid-afternoon, I cave again and lower the rare book price to $6.99. My customers clearly have no shame in making me compromise. I spent some quality time with Peanut and suddenly realize after 5 whole days that I never bought him a litter tray. This explains a lot. As soon as I place it down, he's using it like a pro. Good boy, Peanut. Very good boy. Day 23. Customers stream into the store like ants following a trail of sugar, and I just know today is going to be a good day. It's perfect because I need to save $30,000 to open my 3rd store. Ambitious, yes, but not rubbish. I head back to my bigger French shop, knowing the higher foot traffic will speed up income. I man the checkout, restock like a machine, and end the day doing my favorite activity, admiring my little bustling empire. I've made almost $3,000 in a single day. If this pace continues, that store is mine. Day 24. Back in Japan, I reluctantly lower the rare book price to $5.99. I hate it, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I even take over the register myself to maximize sales efficiency. Despite the new pricing, the rare book still manages to get overlooked. Truly, my customers are a mysterious species. While restocking board games, I discover a new item: chocolate. Naturally, I immediately buy a candy shelf and delight in the variety of cute patterns. Breaking from my signature black theme just this once, I pick a little goose. I stock my first 2 candy bars and I feel a childlike thrill. Distracted by my new sweet treats, I neglect the rare book, only to discover it's mysteriously sold. I'm so excited, but also disappointed I missed the big moment. I end the day halfway to my 30,000 goal, with 5 days left. Plenty of time, right? Day 25. A slow day, but productive. I unlock a new manga and pay my bills like the responsible shop owner I am. I tackle as many customers as possible, do some restocking and tidying, and remind myself that slow days are just opportunities for big victories tomorrow. Or something like that. Day 26. I head to my French bookshop expecting a normal bustling day. But it's eerily quiet. Where is everyone? That's when I notice it. My workers are outside, protesting about wages. Okay, maybe they want a pay rise. It's a bit unorthodox, but sure. I check the bills and realize I kind of forgot to pay them and I'm 1 day late. 1 day late? And this is their reaction? Honestly, it's ridiculous. I briefly consider firing them all just to give them something real to complain about, but my laziness wins. Still, their little protest has instantly knocked them down a few notches. Desperate for money and worried I won't hit my $30,000 goal in time, I do what any rational shop owner would do: raise prices. Every item in the store jumps 10%. Perfectly reasonable, obviously. If I ignore my demanding staff, it's been a great day. I even made a profit. But with just 3 days to go, I am starting to sweat a little. Day 27, it's a busy, chaotic, caffeine-fueled day. Serving, stocking, begging for sales, and somehow it all comes together. By the end of the day, I've made a record profit of $5,000. Suddenly, I have hope. We can do this. Day 28. There's 2 days left. $24,000 in the bank. $6,000 needed. I watch eagerly as customers flock to the books like moths to a flame. I spend the day serving, restocking, and resisting the urge to scream at anyone who picks up a book and puts it down again. Almost $5,000 made today. Tomorrow could be the day we open our 3rd store. Day 29, second to last day, $28,000. So close I can almost taste it. A few more sales and yes, we've hit the $30,000 goal. This is incredible. I feel so proud. But let's be honest, I want a buffer. Who am I kidding? I throw caution to the wind and buy the new store in France, leaving a grand total of $56 in the bank. I really like to live dangerously. I check out the new store and it's a beauty. Stunning location, already attracting customers who will soon discover the store is literally empty. I dive into getting the store ready and pick my first book, a romantic novel, perfect for the city of love. My first sale is just 1 book. It's a humble start, but as the saying goes, from little things, big things grow. Excited, I add a 2nd book to encourage multi-book purchases, and it works. The first day at my newest shop ends on a high note. Profit made. Soon I'll be a millionaire. Or at least slightly less poor. Day 30, and it's the final day of my 30-day challenge. I take a moment to admire my surroundings, rename the store, and start the day serving customers. As usual, I quickly grow tired of the people, so I hire my first employee, David, a strapping young man. Finally, someone else can deal with the chaos while I supervise and occasionally micromanage. Before long, the day and the challenge itself comes to an end. I watch David through the window and reflect. In 30 days, I've opened 3 bookstores across 2 countries, hired a small army of employees, adopted 2 cats, successfully ripped off several customers, and proved that with focus, determination, and just a touch of chaos, I can achieve my goals. 30 days, 3 stores, 2 cats, countless stress, and 1 very proud shopkeeper. Mission accomplished. And that's a wrap. 3 stores, 2 cats, and somehow I didn't go broke. Let me know if you want to see more videos just like this one. They are so fun to make, so I really hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful day and thanks for watching.